To episode 18 of The Real Women of Boxing, where women with working knowledge and experience of the fight game share the latest interviews, news and reviews. My name is Jacqui-Lee Pryce, and joining me later are three members of England Boxing's Commonwealth Games team. Here are some of the latest news. Israel Madimov versus Michelle Sorrow met for the second time in a WBA World Super Welter title eliminator, but unfortunately there was an accidental clash of heads and the fight was stopped. GB Boxing unveiled its Commonwealth Games squad. Now, of the 14-person team, there are 6 women, and Anthony Joshua, who recently signed with DAZN, may be fighting on the Sky Boxing platform against Usyk. All a bit crazy, but stay tuned with that. Here are some of the reviews of the weekend's action. Ramla Ali versus Argentinian Agustin Rojas in a super bantamweight division. Ali is looking more compact and has more tools in her toolkit. I'm not sure if she made a decision not to have her toes in like both the amateur and pro games, and if this is the case, I think it's a good call. She's always been technically savvy, but concentrating on one style of boxing will see her progress in leaps and bounds. We need to see her go through the gears a bit more and get nasty and a bit spiteful. But the improvements are evident under Manny Robles. Generally, there was one calm, authoritative voice in the corner, and I see this pairing as having real potential. Rojas was working behind a lovely, solid jab, and she definitely came to have a go and test Ramla, which is what she needs. Someone with basically boxing ability and survival skills. There are some great possible domestic matchups in the super bantamweight division too. Lisa Whiteside, Ellie Scottney and Nina Hughes are names that I would throw in the hat. They're all former GB girls, so basically would be good competitive fights. Kevin Ajako versus Lucas Masiak for the WBA International Super Welterweight belt. This is Ajako's 17th professional fight, and he's moved down from middleweight. He looked absolutely incredible, and if this performance was anything to go by, it hasn't diminished his power. Masiak fancied it in the beginning, but after a few well-timed counters from Ajako, kind of made him think, and he was a little more cautious. Kevin's jab not only has meat on it, it has seasoning too, and Big Al Smith had to remind him that he doesn't have to add the seasoning to every single shot. I like Masiak. He was a good level of journeyman who was trying to sort of land some huge shots, particularly that right hand, and he was chipping away really nicely at Ajako's midsection. Overall, it was a good performance from Ajako, simmering away nicely. A nice, relaxed Black Thunder is an even more dangerous fighter, in my opinion. He's a lovely, lovely young man, but he just wants to hurt people when he gets in the ring. Derek Chisora versus Kubrat Pulev for the WBA International Heavyweight Championship. This is the second meeting for these guys, the first being about 6 years ago, with Pulev being the victor. Firstly, I've got to say, I loved Chisora's ring walk and attire. The ring walk felt like he was almost saying goodbye. His family was there for the first time, and he really took his time to soak up the atmosphere. Gotta be honest, the fight was a little bit scrappy in places, but Chisora managed to take away Pulev's jab early on, and he was slipping and he was sliding and closed down the gap. I thought Pulev was fit and he came to fight, and he tried to pressure Chisora from a distance, and he kind of let him off the hook a few times. In round 7, when Chisora was under pressure, he was like a man possessed. I really, really enjoyed this fight. It had twists and turns and plenty of action. Pulev seems to have lost his sharpness though, but let's be honest, these are two really big guys, and so anything can happen if they connect. And that backhand of Chisora's is still very dangerous. Chisora got the win via split decision and is vowing to fight on. Should Pulev fight on? I have to say no, to be honest. His punching power and his accuracy have gone. And as for Chisora, he is a true warrior. And I have to admit, I always have mixed feelings when I've watched him in his latest fights. I've said it before, there's part of me that wants him to ride off into the sunset and enjoy his family time. And there's another part of me that wants him to earn the money and, really get the endorsements deals and the accolades that have kind of bypassed him in the early stages of his career. What I don't want to see is his health deteriorating at a later date because he stayed too long and gave his all to entertainers. Coming up this week on Friday the 15th of July, after a delay and a change of opponent, French fancy Joanna Wonyu is set to take the stage in Glasgow. She's really one to watch. 16th of July on the Shiraz Torres undercard, Lennox Clark and Mark Heffron. That promises to be explosive. Dennis McCann is out. Pierce O'Leary and hot prospect Masood Abdullah are some of the names on that packed card. And on the 17th of July, Olympian Joe McGrail will be fighting in his 5th professional fight. My first guest is a Team England member, Jodie Wilkinson. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good to see your face. And firstly, congratulations. Oh my gosh.
Crazy, I know. It's mental.
Some people might not know that you are now part of the official Commonwealth 2022 team for Team England. All your dreams coming true.
Yeah, definitely, especially from where I've started, just by doing a charity boxing event, to then say I'm going to the Commonwealth Games is just, it's a story in itself, really.
It is. And also, like I was saying off camera, one of the things it says to me is it's almost like a payoff for just sticking with it through the pandemic. I know it was really difficult for you guys being separated from your teammates, having to train at home, trying to keep that that dream alive. In this moment now, do you think, it's all paid off?
Yeah, definitely. Like during the lockdown and everything, it was just hard finding motivation because it was like, when can we go back and train? When a competition's going to be starting? So like for us, it was like, let's just have a little bit of a break, but at the same time you've got to be on it because we could have just got a call, yeah, you're back in camp next week. So yeah, I've just tried to stay on it, but I mean it's paid off and here we are today.
Yeah. And also you have all those other girls chomping at the bit as well. So you kind of, even though you've obviously boxed for GB in competitions, but you've obviously got other people coming up, so I guess you're kind of looking over your shoulder, which keeps you motivated, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always competition out there and it's just being able to stay on form, keep improving. You're always improving in boxing, so it's just always keep improving and never slip off or never shy away from anything. It's just always been there, always been consistent.
Yeah. So you were last out in February for a competition. Is it in Bosca where you won the bronze medal? Talk to me about that experience and, how that will actually affect you going into the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, obviously I've had a few months off now, but during that I have been training hard. I have felt myself improving. When I boxed in Hungary, I boxed at a new weight at 66. Prior to that, 2 weeks before, I ended up boxing in Serbia at 66 as well. Got bronze there. And even in between those two competitions, I could see how much I'd improved and just thought the whole build up to fight day and stuff like that. Like I was taking on board what the coaches were saying, try to keep myself calm, try to get myself in some kind of rhythm. So yeah, I do feel myself improving, and I'm looking forward to getting out to the games and showing my skills of what I have improved since Hungary.
So you haven't always boxed at 66, have you? So just
No.
for the viewers that are tuning in, just talk to me about where you started and literally where you are now.
Yeah, so obviously I started by playing rugby. I've played rugby all my life, rugby league that is, and I were about 100 kilo when I first started my charity boxing event. That's how I got into boxing. And since then I just consistently been at the gym, training, learning, and I ended up going into the national championships in 2019 at 75 kilo, which I ended up winning, and that's how I got my assessments onto GB. At that stage, they wanted me as a 69 kilo boxer. So I won the national championships again at 69 in 2021. And then from there, they said, "Can you get to 66?" And it's happened. And yeah, boxed twice now at 66.
I mean, really and truly, that's incredible. Not only are you putting in the performances in the ring, and for people that aren't athletes, how difficult is it to be in a weight categorised sport, number one, and then to just keep chipping away, and still be strong at that weight?
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, at GB we have got all the support staff to help with your diet, your strength and conditioning sessions. So that is a big help. But it's just staying motivated, especially like when you've not got any fights lined up. Like I've not had any fights lined up for the past 5 months. So yeah, it's just staying motivated and staying consistent. It does mean obviously missing out on social events with friends and family, but it's a commitment that you make once you start boxing in a weight category sport.
It's interesting because in the field that I'm in, regularly we have to go to auditions, and it's the same thing. You're kind of always in preparation mode, and you have to stay in preparation mode. You have to stay on top of your game, but there's not always a guaranteed payoff. And so really and truly, that's the trick, isn't it? I think to one of the keys to success. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. As long as you're staying consistent and always staying on it, a fight could pop up, in 3 weeks' time, and it's just about being ready. The more that you're sorted with your weight and your weight's on point, then it's half the battle done.
And I don't mean this in a bad way, but also someone could get injured. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So, like you say, you don't know when your opportunity is going to come up. It could be sprung on you last minute. So it's just all about being ready. And I guess in the sport that we do, we are fighters. So we are ready. We are born fighters. We are ready whenever.
I like your attitude. I really do. Just to mention that the team that are going out, there are 14 boxers and 6 of them are females. So it's quite a nice balance, isn't it? Females to males. Is it quite good for you guys that you've got that many sort of, comrades?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a big team going out and a strong team going out, I think. Like, we have got quite a newish team entering the games. Like, some are coming from England boxing, and I think it's just a good mix. With there being 6 girls, yeah, absolutely brilliant, and I think it says a lot for female boxing. But at the same time, like, we are one big team, like, we all get on. So,
like you just said, the team's quite young, but it is quite nice to see the young blood coming through and being, I guess, tested as well. Because in 3 years' time, are we in 3 years' time? I can't remember. 3 years' time, we've got Paris 2024. 2 years time.
2 years.
Yeah. So I guess this
round.
So I guess this is all part of this road to Paris as well. Would it not be?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a little bit of a stepping stone, really. Perform well out there. It's another one ticked off. The qualifiers are next year, so they'll soon approach.
It's true. And how has it been in GB since kind of the big names, some of the big names have left? I mean, you're lucky enough to have trained with Caris and Lauren, Caris Arkansas and Lauren Pryce. And I guess for some of those girls coming in, they probably wanted to have that experience as well. But what's the mood like now in GB since the older people have pushed on into the pros and the new blood has come through?
Yeah, I think everyone's there for a reason, and we love to do the sport. Everyone just gets on. I mean, Galal, Caris, Lauren, they're all still training at GB, so we do see them, and it is nice to have them there, and kind of look up to them on how well they've done and what they've achieved.
Do they kind of take you under the wing and give you some advice?
Maybe give me a few punches in sparring. But
oh yeah, you guys will still be sparring, won't you?
Yeah, spar with Lauren a lot, and we have some really good spars. And
I can imagine.
It is good to spar with her, because she is a strong girl, and I think she is bringing me on a lot as well. Like, she's very technical, even though she is fast, she is strong. She is very technical as well, and I think it does bring me on as well. Also, before Caris's last a first pro fight, I was doing a little bit of sparring with her, and just the difference, like the quickness. It's great to have that mixture, and they are both like really good technical girls in their own ways.
Absolutely agree. We did a review on both their fights on this podcast, and one of the things that, you know, obviously because they've come from such a high caliber of amateur background, their technical ability, like you say, their quickness, and also they're spiteful and horrible in there, which I quite like. So they've got that good mix of being able to get spiteful when they need to, but also just show some gorgeous technique. And on that, you know, what did you think of Lauren's? Well, let's talk about Lauren first. What did you think about Lauren's first pro fight?
Yeah, so Lauren's first fight, we were actually training and sparring for another girl, which unfortunately couldn't get over due to visa problems, I believe. So it were a last minute opponent. But to say she hadn't been prepping for this girl, I thought she handled her really, really well. She just showed her how quick she is, and yeah, just get obviously boxing at a new weight, a lighter weight. She really composed herself, and you could see even in training and out of the ring how dedicated she is, and it is really uplifting for us boxers being there and seeing that.
Yeah, I think now you're kind of because they've stayed at GB. I thought maybe they were training at different times to you, but because they've stayed, you're kind of you've got a roadmap into the pros. You can actually see, well, this is where they started, and that's where I can go. And the other thing being, I just thought that both Lauren and Karis showed there were levels above their opponent.
Definitely, absolutely, and I believe they've got a very, very successful road to go down in the pro game, and obviously wish them all the best of luck with it. And but yeah, you could see the different levels, especially with Karis's fight. I mean, that girl was throwing some cracking hooks at her, and I thought, I wouldn't like to take one of them shots. I mean,
It was, yeah, like you say, oh God, it was quality.
yeah,
It was, I think, sorry to cut across you, I think what it showed was, oh, you thought you saw, or you thought you've seen what professional boxing could be like for females. And I think it's just upped the game again with this influx. What an absolutely quality fight. What were the things that really stood out for you in that fight?
in Karis's fight,
Yeah.
yeah, it was just. I mean, I know the girl's got power anyway. For her weight, she has got a lot of power, but it was just a mixing of shots up, and obviously in amateurs it's just free, so it was nice to see him take the time a little bit and be able to connect with them big shots.
There's been a lot of people making comments on social media about, you know, when some of the amateur girls come over into the professional scene, they are still too amateurish. Listen, I thought, to be fair, number one, it takes a while to transition, but number two, I thought both Lauren and Karis were sitting down on the shots more. Would you agree?
Definitely, yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. Like, you could see him waiting, and some of the shots that they were landing were just unbelievable. And you don't get that in amateurs because it is a different style, and it is a quicker pace. And it was nice to see him, you know, acting as though they were pro boxers, and,
Yes.
and like you said, sitting down on the shots and letting them go when they had to.
Yeah. I think it's difficult for some people. I think there's a little bit of, let's just say, a bit of jealousy that when a new crop come in, people are trying to find, you know, a criticism, anything to pick at. Do you know what I'm saying? But really and truly, they know that they're quality boxers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. But you get that in life all the time. You know, people saying, you know, they're not going to be good enough in this. You know, even in boxing, they're not going to be good enough in the pro game. Blah blah blah. But you get that all the time. But you know, they prove themselves that they are good enough to be in that pro game. Like you said, it is a completely different like transition over, and you know, I thought they did themselves really, really proud.
So did I. Anybody else you've been watching that's recently transitioned that's surprising you, or, you know, just taken to the pro game like a duck to water?
I mean, I'm really looking forward to the Savannah Marshall Clarissa Shields fight, and I think Savannah is. I think she's just from being a pro. She's just a completely different boxer to what she were in the amateurs, and I can't see anyone beating her. I really can't. I can't see Clarissa winning. I really like how she's perfected her own style in the pro game, and it's good. It's nice to watch now.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is when you read some of the social media comments, they feel that Savannah has not been tested enough, which is kind of not true, because all the people that she's fought, that Carissa Shields has fought, she's taken them out quicker. She's dealt with them quicker.
Yeah.
And, listen, it's really hard sometimes for me not to think as a coach, or not to think as somebody that knows Savannah from the amateurs. But I don't think, I can honestly say, hand on heart, I don't think everybody's seen what she can do yet in the pros. So they're going on, which is quite rightly so, they're going on, well, she hasn't done this and she hasn't done that and she hasn't fought this many fights. But I'm like, well, you know what? This kid can fight, so...
Yeah. And I mean, she had a lot of experience in the amateur game, so she really can fight. She's class, and she's just class to watch as well. Like, her style of boxing from coming over to the pros is just unbelievable. Another boxer as well is Raven Chapman. I mean, I think she always had a pro style.
Absolutely.
Even in the amateurs, and it's nice to see her to be able to, like you said, sit down on them shots, because again, she has a lot of power as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to see her. I think she kind of was in the background a little bit at GB, but the experience would have been, so valuable, so valuable. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And to be fair, I like Carissa Shields. I think she's done a lot for the sport.
Yeah.
I think personally, I'd like to see whether there was somebody asked about the transition between martial arts, her being a mixed martial artist and her being a boxer, and has that affected her? And she took offence at that. Well, I can say I came from kickboxing into boxing, and there is a difference. There is a difference in the distribution of weight. And so for me, I think it's going to be just interesting. Of course she can box, but I think it'll be interesting if she's able to make that transition back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it is another physicality sport, obviously. There is a bit of boxing that goes into, a lot of boxing that goes into mixed martial arts, but yeah, it's kind of different how you approach it, and although it's a little bit slower, because you have to be wary of the kicks and the grapples and things like that, so I don't know. I mean, she's a very talented boxer, so... you're never going to lose that. It's like riding a bike, really. So,
true.
But yeah, I get what you're saying with it is a little bit of a slower chess game in mixed martial arts.
I just think it's your center of gravity, your distribution of weight. It's just completely different. And so I found I had to, when I was punching, I'd have to think, right, oh, okay, I've got to now kick. Well, I've got to open up to kick. Does that make sense? But listen, it's going to be such a cracking fight. And even Peter Fury was saying, no, this is a real 50-50 fight.
Yeah, I do believe it is, and obviously there were, when they're boxing the amateurs together, it was. I thought it were a very close fight, a lot closer than because it was point system at the time, wasn't it? I thought it were a bit closer than what it actually was, but I did think Savannah had the upper end on it. But I mean, like I said, Savannah's style's just completely changed since the amateurs, and it's just nice to watch, and it seems so slick and fresh. Yeah,
it is.
So yeah, I'm putting my money on Savannah.
To be fair, one of the things that has grown immensely, which I'm so pleased about, is her confidence. And I'm telling you now, that is the key. That is the key to the win.
Absolutely. I mean, confidence does play a big part in boxing. If you go in that fight thinking you've already, you're going to win it, and that's half the battle. It is a lot. It is a big mental game. Although it's such a physical game, is boxing. It is a very, 80% I think is mental, and as long as you believe, and you picture yourself winning, then I think that's half the battle done itself.
I know it's slightly different in the amateurs. You don't have, the mad ring walk with all the sort of lights and all of that sort of stuff. But I'm guessing when you're at the weigh-in or when you're walking around the compounds, which again is slightly different to the pros, but can you get a sense of who your opponent is? And what I mean by that is, people talk about the mind games that are played in the professional scene. People talk about who wins the mind games at the weigh-in and the press conferences. And there is a thought that, because Clarissa Shields is loud and quite confident that she's winning these battles, whereas Savannah Marshall is more, I guess, cheeky, very British, very cheeky. The little put-downs, the little slide put-downs that I'm not sure Americans always grasp. But in your experience, if somebody is louder and more confident, or is perceived to be more confident, does that necessarily mean that they're going to be the winner?
Not really, because everyone has different personalities. Just because having playing a part that you are louder does get the eye of the public and the supporters watching. But I think they're both very clever in that press conference that they had the other day. I think they're both very clever in how they come out, speak. And Clarissa is loud. She's a bit mouthy, but I think Savannah plays it cool. And these little witty comments, like you said, that the Americans probably don't get, the the British, the comedy or whatever that we come out with. I think she's playing it smart, Savannah. For me personally, I'm one of these. I like to stay away from my opponent. I like them to see me when we get in that ring. Bit of a mystery.
Yeah, I have to say, from my time in coaching, one thing that I learned that you don't ignore the quiet ones in the back, because they're usually the people that will surpass everybody else.
Absolutely.
Not exclusively, but usually those ones in the back that are quiet, they're working away and they're working hard, and they come and they suppress all the loudmouths and they perform on the day and win. And it's like, well,
definitely, like Golovkin and Klitschko, like they hardly spoke a word. You see Golovkin in the street in his normal civvy clothes, and he just looks like a normal guy, and then he gets in the ring and he's got a jaw like granite.
It's true.
Crazy.
It's absolutely true. Yeah, there's all sorts of characters in this game, isn't there? So just lastly, you guys are going off. You're going off to a training camp, aren't you? Is it tomorrow to Ireland?
Yeah, tomorrow till Friday we go to Ireland on a training camp.
So I understand it's just not Team England, because I think I read or saw somewhere that Team Australia is going to be there as well. Is there quite a few teams going?
Yeah, I've heard that myself. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I have heard that myself, that Australia are there. I also heard that India might be there as well, but again, I'm not sure. I'll just see when I get there.
So explain to people how different that is, because to people that just tune into professional boxing, they probably think that's quite weird that you're all going to the same tournament and yet you're all going to the same training camp. Just explain how that works.
Yeah, I don't really get it myself, really. It puzzles me myself that we do it, but again, it's different sparring and different styles, and kind of seeing what you're coming up against as a inside. Yeah,
making notes.
Yeah, making notes. Not sparring as well as what you fight. And
yeah. Going southpaw if you're orthodox, all those tricks. I love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, it's been absolutely great to speak to you. I'm so happy for you. Enjoy, firstly, the camp, and enjoy the Commonwealth Games, and we'll have you back on.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I'm just soaking up every little bit. For me, it's just unbelievable that I'm actually going to the games. So every little bit, every opportunity that we're getting at the minute, I'm just soaking it all up, and I'm just loving every minute of it.
Beautiful. Thanks ever so much for giving us your time.
No worries.
And my next guest, Oh, as a little, been watching this kid throughout her amateur career. Welcome to Sameenah Toussaint. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm good. You're
That's
looking
good.
well.
Cheers.
All grown up.
Big 19 now.
Oh, all grown up. So firstly, congratulations on number one, being selected for the GB Academy.
Thank you.
Long time.
I know, it's been a while. It's been a while doing the assessments. Good year now.
They make you work.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know. Yeah.
And then on top of that, obviously, you have just also been picked to be part of Team England for the upcoming Commonwealth Games. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
You must be absolutely over the moon.
I'm buzzing. Yeah, I can't wait.
Is it all, the whole kind of going up to GB? I know the assessments are quite tense because everybody's got eyes on you. Have you been able to now just relax a little bit and enjoy the training?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the assessments, there's a lot of pressure because, you all eyes are on you. But now you're on the team. Obviously, you still got to perform. Like there's no point, taking your feet off the pedal. But it's a different sort of feeling now. Yeah, you can chill a bit more.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just feeling like, I guess, all of this work going back. I guess just feeling secure that all of this work has paid off. Would I be correct in thinking that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been boxing for years now, so finally I've sort of reached where I want to be. Like GB's where you want to aim to be at, this sort of age. So yeah, I'm happy.
So how did you celebrate, firstly?
I went out for a few meals, probably a few too many, but the weight's under control now. So yeah, I celebrated with a few meals.
I like it. No, you deserve it. You really, really do deserve it. So you are part of what's called the Academy team. Can you explain to people the difference between the Academy and the podium squad?
Yeah, so the Academy squad, it's like part-time on GB, so you go up there for 4 days every 2 weeks. But like with the podium squad, it's you're literally there 4 days every week. So you're there Monday to Thursday, and then the next week you're there as well. But because I'm obviously going to the Commonwealth, I've been training with the podium team, so I've been doing it every week. Yeah.
Wow.
It's intense.
So can you tell me about some of the people that you've been sparring with?
A few months ago, I sparred Karis. That was a really good experience. Yeah, I was a bit nervous, to be fair, sparring her because she's up here, like it's mad. Like Olympic medalist. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but to be fair, I thought I sparred quite good actually. Like I wasn't very nervous, but yeah, I sparred all right actually. And then
did you have to go like, listen, she's only a person?
Yeah, you kind of had to, like, obviously at the start of the round I was a bit sort of apprehensive, like I was kind of hands off a bit too much, but once I got in the flow of things, I was thinking, you know what, like we're the same weight, like there's not a lot of differences between us, so it's it's just sparring.
And also, let's be honest, she needs the work as well.
You're
learning off her, but she needs the work as well.
Yeah, and I'm sure she appreciates sparring other people as well. Like sparring the same people that can get a bit predictable. So throwing in a new person like helped her as well, innit?
Yeah. It's true. And then so obviously there are 14 people that are going, 6 girls, and I think is it Savannah Stubley is a newbie?
Yeah,
to
me
the
and
team
Savannah
as well.
are the new
So
ones.
that must be quite nice because you've kind of gone through together.
Yeah, I'm happy that Savannah's there as well. Like obviously she's probably one of my closest friends on the squad because I've known we're similar age and we went to the Europeans the other month as well. So yeah, it's good.
And you did well at those Europeans, at under 22s. You came back with a bronze medal.
Yeah, I did good. I did all right.
And I was asking Jodie about this. I mean, surely now you can kind of see a clearer path to, Paris 2024, but also having Lauren Pryce and Karis Arkansas there. You can see a clear path from, okay, this is a path I can take to the Olympics, but then moving forward, there's a straight road into the pros.
Yeah, that's also something to consider as well, the pros. But yeah, the pathway has been sort of paved quite clearly now. Now I'm on GB, you can see all the opportunities coming up now.
This will be your first major competition as a senior. I mean, that's actually quite exciting that it is the Commonwealth Games and in the UK. How brilliant is that? Yeah,
I mean, it's worked out almost perfect. Like, obviously, it's my first senior, and the nerves will be there, but because, you know, a home crowd and all that, it kind of, you know, evens it out a bit. So, yeah, I'm excited. Happy it's in Birmingham.
And obviously that family and friends can come as well, which is always, you know, makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's good. You know, it's only, 2 hours from London. So, yeah, it'd be good.
Tomorrow you're going to, I guess one of your first, again, major training camps abroad. You're going to Ireland with Team England. I think Team Australia is going to be there, and a few other teams. You know, what will that experience do for you personally going into the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, I haven't really sparred a great deal of sort of, you know, seniors. Obviously, I just moved up a couple of years ago to the senior ranks, but like sparring international seniors will give me a good taster into what I'm, you know, facing. So yeah, that'd be good.
But also in terms of, will you be able to kind of judge just personally, okay, here, this is where I am at, and this is where I want to get to? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, there'll be a lot of talented girls up there, so it'd be good to sort of, you know, internally rank myself, you know. Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah.
So who do you think, you know, looking around, is probably some of the most dangerous contenders in your weight category?
Probably say the Irish girl. What's her name? Michaela Walsh. Like, she's two Commonwealth silvers. You know, she's been to Olympics. She's been around for a while. Like, so that's probably like my main one to sort of watch or whatever. But yeah.
So have you been looking at all the?
Not too much yet, but like I don't want to get too much into it. But like, yeah, I watched one of her fights yesterday. I can't lie. Yeah, I did watch one of her bouts yesterday. But yeah, it's probably her main girl.
I mean, it's good also to kind of, I guess, when you box someone that's been around for a while, a little bit more experience, it also elevates yourself, doesn't it, and your performance? Would you agree?
Yeah, of course. And for me to be mixing around with them, you know, I'm only 19, so it's good. It's good.
You're going to be bashing people up for years to come.
Let's hope so. That's the plan.
Were you quite surprised that, you know, Team GB has effectively picked quite a young team to go to these Commonwealths? I mean, were you quite surprised by that, or just grateful?
I mean, I wasn't actually. I mean, I was surprised, obviously, but I wasn't like that surprised. I mean, in the back of my mind, probably from the last like maybe a year, I've been having my eye on the Commonwealths, and I thought it's a good chance I could have gone. You know, with Karis going, you know, on the pros, like there's no 57, so there was definitely a massive chance of me going. So I'm very grateful to be picked. Very grateful.
But also there was rumours that they were going to keep their feet in both camps. Lauren and Karis was saying she wanted to stay to do the Commonwealth. So was that maybe where the uncertainty was with regard to you getting on the squad? Yeah, I mean, I knew obviously she'd be doing like both training at GB and that, but yeah, I'm just very grateful to be picked. Like to be picked, you know, it's a dream come true almost. Yeah, I can imagine. Obviously, now we're out of the pandemic. I'm expecting there will be quite a lot of celebrations. Do they kind of have an opening ceremony for the Commonwealth Games? Yeah, they do on the 28th. So less than 3 weeks from now. Yeah. Wow. Exciting. You got your kit yet? No, not yet. I'm pretty sure we're getting it next weekend. I'm not actually 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's next weekend. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We go Loughborough, you know, get kitted out and all of that. Yeah, that's going to be a good experience. Yeah, you're gonna have to send me some photos. Yeah, of course. I will. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see the payoff. It really is. Yeah. It really is. Yeah. Listen, thanks ever so much for giving us your time, and looking forward to seeing your progression between now and the end of the games. Thank you. Listen, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when we drop new content. And stay tuned for part 2 with GB's Gemma Richardson.